Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. And this is a paid request for Ronald. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, PayPal is usually the best bet. I do have a Cash App or Patreon. I do have those options as well. For those interested, those are in the info box, wherever YouTube put it now. It could be for any topic, commentary, reaction, review, movie re-review, video game let's try, playthrough, whatever the case may be. If so, thank you so much. I'll get to it as soon as I can. And Ron wanted me to look at Blue Velvet, a 1986 film, which I'm not a David Lynch guy. I've never been a David Lynch guy. I do like Dune for what it is. It's not a favorite of mine, and it's not a beloved movie of his, but I could watch it for what it was. Eraserhead is interesting, although I wouldn't say I love the film. Try never get into Twin Peaks. His other stuff is like, eh. I do not like... What was that one with Bill Pullman? I forget what it was called. Lost Highway. I know a lot of people like Lost Highway. I could not get into it. This film, there's stuff I like about it, but overall, I'm not a big fan of Blue Velvet. I know that's blasphemy. I don't mind the cast. Kyle MacLachlan, Laura Dern, Isabel Rossellini. Dennis Hopper steals the show. Absolutely does. Yeah, Brad Dourif in a small part. Pretty much, it's about, you have seemingly perfect suburbia, but then this dark underbelly that's behind this picturesque life. And I thought, like, the way it opened, I thought was actually pretty good. You see the flowers, the waving firefighters, everything's fine and dandy. This guy is doing some stuff, but he collapses, and then you see kind of camera pans, and you have this bugs underneath. Like there's something, underneath this, what seems like a perfect life, perfect everything. There's some possibly sinister stuff going on underneath. Well, the person that collapsed was Kyle MacLachlan's dad. So Kyle goes see his dad, comes out of the hospital, finds an ear with ants on it in a field, goes to the cops, and then the story goes on from there, where he meets Laura Dern, who's the cop's daughter. The two of them look into this, what happened, and they find this place where, this nightclub, and then this place Isabel Rossellini's at, where then Kyle MacLachlan hides in the closet and sees Isabel Rossellini and Dennis Hopper, who's just crazy psycho, that has this, you're breathing this stuff in, will beat the hell out of her, but then goes, oh, mommy, mommy, Again, anytime Dennis Hopper's on screen, he really brings life to the proceedings. But I think what it is for me is, after the initial setup, I thought the movie kind of just, unless Dennis Hopper's on screen, the movie just kind of lags, kind of meanders. And I don't think it was as disturbing as people made it out to be. I thought it was rather tame. Like, Dennis Hopper's crazy, don't get me wrong, but I think for how disturbing people made it out to be, maybe that's how it was in 1986, but I'm just watching, when I first saw it and watched it again, I'm like, I don't know, this just seems tame compared to how people built it up as, if that makes sense. And there are characters in it that feel like they're introduced, but nothing's really done with them. Like the father character. You thought, okay, he visits his father in the hospital. You never see that father character again. You think, okay, maybe Dennis Hopper's going to find out who Kyle is. Oh, your dad's in the hospital, then he's going to do something to the dad, or he kills the dad, or again, nothing really happened. You never see the dad again. So that whole dad collapsing hospital felt like kind of pointless. I just the point. I mean, You literally could have just had Kyle going through a field, going home from work or something, and he finds the ear. Like, his dad being in a hospital didn't affect the plot, didn't affect the rest of the story. Like, hey, what was the point of that? And then you never see the dad again. Yeah, these two ladies are with Kyle MacLachlan, Priscilla Pointer, which she was the doctor in Nightmare on Elm Street 3 that didn't believe in any of the kids. And then you have Frances Bay, who's the old woman who's chopping up her husband in the Mouth of Madness, that motel. She was also one of the characters in Critters 3. She's been in all this stuff. Cool to see those two actors, but again, it's like, other than appearing 2 or 3 times, they didn't really offer anything to the plot or to the story or to the. So it's like, okay, they're just in there just because. I do like Kyle MacLachlan. He has the easygoing nature, being the normal, everyday guy. Laura Dern, I do like her. She seemed very sweet as the cop's daughter. I didn't buy the out of the blue relationship between Kyle and Isabel Rossellini. Because she finds him, forces him to strip, like, you want to watch me, let me watch you strip. But then she hears Dennis Hopper coming, he hides in the closet, and that's where he sees all this stuff. And apparently the story is that Isabel Rossellini, spoiler, her kid and someone else has been taken. The other someone, it's their ear that was cut off. She's hanging out with Dennis Hopper so that especially her kid are safe. But yeah, this relationship between Kyle and Isabel Rossellini, it felt like it came out of nowhere. And because we know so little of Kyle MacLachlan's character, it feels like a character that felt useless or felt picked on or pushed around, and now he's getting a bit of taste because he does a little bit of punching, hitting Isabella, and then she acts like she likes it. But then it's like they don't really go much further than that. And then there's one sex scene, and then after that it's fairly dropped. And that's where I'm like, it felt like there was a lot more to this. And apparently this film was like 4 hours long. So there probably was a lot more to this. So I can imagine without the 4 hour version of this. So it seems like there's probably a lot more to that relationship. A lot more build up. A lot more of them kind of sizing each other up. And then finally get into this. Because we know so little of Kyle MacLachlan's character, it was hard for me to fathom, like, he has this nice girl like Laura Dern. Why would he go for Isabel Rossellini and all that? It just, again, there's not much build up to that. There's not much transition of that. It's there because the plot told it needed to happen. So I thought that was not as well done as it could have been. That's just me, though. Like I said, Dennis Hopper is a joy when he sees Isabel Rossellini and then sees Kyle. Who are you? Oh, you're a neighbor, huh? Okay, neighbor. Come with us. No. Okay. No, you don't come with us. And just the way Dennis Hopper's talked with him. What do you like to drink? Heineken? Fuck that shit. Or later on when they go to Dean Stockwell, another actor I enjoy. They go to his place, who's an associate of Dennis Hopper. And I forgot Brad Dourif was in this. He doesn't have a whole lot to do, sadly. He has a couple lines, that's it. He has this bit where he has the drinks and he's like, you want me to pour it? No, I want you to fuck it. Yeah, I'll pour the fucking beers. Or Dennis Hopper, you know, I'll fuck anything that moves. Which I think Kevin Smith stole that line because he makes Jason Mewes say that in, I forget which film it was. Mallrats, maybe? Clerks or Mallrats, I swear he has Jason Mewes say that line. I'll fuck anything that moves. It's one or the other. It was Clerks or Mallrats, I can't remember, so. So pretty much, they have him listen to Dean Stockwell, well, lip sync a song. Then they bring him somewhere. They beat the hell out of him. I don't know why they don't kill him, but they didn't. It seems like the way Dennis Hopper is as a person, they would have just killed the guy, but they didn't. They just beat the hell out of him. And then he tries for 10 seconds, then goes back like everything's fine and dandy. Gets with Laura Dern again. They find Isabella Rossellini naked and bruised up. Take her to the hospital. Laura Dern finds out Kyle's been stooping her, so she gets pissed. Kyle finds out that this guy in this yellow suit is actually a cop who's working for Dennis, so he's paranoid about that. One thing leads to another, able to contact the cops. There's this shootout. I guess Brad Dourif dies. I guess he's in the warehouse. I mean, it just feels kind of slipshod with how one thing leads to another. I guess Dennis Hopper escaped. Kyle is in the same place Dennis Hopper's coming. And when he opens this door and is in this room, I guess that's the idea, is that there's the cop, but he's so out of it, he's just kind of standing there. And you see this big mark on his face. And then there's the guy dead who's with the ear gone. I don't know what happened during this, because the one guy's tied up. So did someone else go in there and beat the hell out of the cop? Yeah, he's still standing. But yet, he's like alive, but he won't do or say anything. So, maybe I missed something. I apologize for that, my own stupidity, but I don't know what the hell happened during that. And so Kyle knows that Dennis has the radio. I'm going to fake him out. Trick him. I'm hiding in the closet. Dennis will open it, shoots him in the head. Nice headshot. And then the movie's over. Again, it's one of those movies that, while I don't mind Kyle MacLachlan or Laura Dern, Dennis Hopper, like I said, he stole the show. But it feels like a lot of stuff is missing. And if it really was a 4-hour cut at one point, then that showcases that, yeah, a lot of stuff was missing. There's really not much of an arc for Kyle MacLachlan's character. He's just, I found an ear, and all of a sudden, I love this girl, and all of a sudden I'm having sex with this girl for some reason. Then, like, there's really not much to the character of Kyle. That's the thing, like, his character really isn't that interesting. Not in terms of dialogue, not in terms of personality, not in terms of any freak out moments or moments where he really rages out, anger, at any, I guess other than when he punches Isabella, but you don't really get into the deep inner psyche of Kyle, where he's having nightmares, or who am I becoming, what kind of person am I becoming, what kind of person am I turning into. You don't really get that inner turmoil, you don't get that inner self-defeating drive. You get really none of that out of the character. So he just becomes kind of a boring character. The pacing at times feel lifeless until Dennis Hopper comes up and he injects some adrenaline. But then when he leaves, it seems like a very lifeless pace. I didn't think it was as disturbing as some people made it out to be. I mean, I've seen plenty of action films where there are people beating the hell out of women and stuff. I think for films about the underbelly, and there's something much more under the surface, and then a character kind of gets into it and realizes how bad things really are, I much prefer 8mm with Nicolas Cage. I much prefer Cold in July with the guy from Dexter. I'm bad with names. And Don Johnson was in it. I much prefer Cold in July. I much prefer 8mm. And then other movies about everything seemed nice and sweet, but this underbelly, there's a lot more sit stuff than there is. Because those films felt like there was more arcs to the character, felt a bit more down and dirty. better pace, just more interesting movies for me to watch. This one, not so much. Some nice Dennis Hopper highlights. That's really it. I mean, again, I like the way it opened. Like the way it opened, the first 5 minutes went, oh, okay, maybe I'll warm up to this. Okay, I like the way this opens. And then didn't really do much of that for the rest of the movie. That kind of symbolism and artistic direction. It kind of stopped doing that after that. So I thought that was a bit weird. So yeah, if people like the film, that's fine. It's just not for me. Not for me. Take that for you, whatever you want. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.